So here we are, December 25th in Utah. These should look like pretty familiar scenes you might see outside your windows, right? Here we are in Utah, and you know it's winter, so we've got to be tipped away from the sun, right? That sunlight's got to spread out over here, indirect sunlight. So we're up here, kind of cold. Meanwhile, we've got this southern pole is tipped toward the sun. This is Argentina. It is directly, well, not directly, but you know, we're up here. I just came down to the southern part. So here's Argentina on December 25th. Right? They've got palm trees, nice blue skies. That's because they are below the equator and they are tipped toward the sun. So, right, they're actually having summer while we're experiencing winter. And it would go the opposite, right? So once then we're in summer, and then when we're tipped toward the sun, then they're tipped back away from the sun, and then they would be experiencing colder weather. So, right, this equator kind of cuts us in half, and so our seasons on the north and the south hemisphere are actually opposite, depending on if you are tipped toward the sun or away from the sun. So, right, if we're toward it, we're summer. If we're away, then we're having winter. So we're going to look at this part of our doodle now. And you're going to need four colors. Different colors, I should specify. So 4 different colors. Let's do green is spring, right? Everything's starting to grow again. And let's go with orange for fall, you know, those pumpkins. And let's do blue for winter, nice cold color. And then all the heat is red in summer. So you need to go get red, blue, green, and orange. Come back when you have those. Okay, so now you should have your 4 colors. And we're going to color in our answer keys. So summer is red, winter is blue, drop color, spring is green, fall is orange. So here is our sun. Here we can see the north and the south, north, south, north, south, right? So it's always tipped toward the north as it goes around. So here, right, I can see we're tipped away. So we're up here in the north. Utah is like right here-ish. And we're tipped away. So, right, if we're tipped away, that means we are actually experiencing winter. So we want to take this part and color it in blue to say this is having winter. Right? If we're here winter, then the opposite is tipped toward the sun. They're going to be having summer. So there's our red to show nice warm summer. So the opposite is true when it gets halfway around the earth again, or the sun again. So now, right, before we were tipped away from the sun up here in Utah, now we're tipped toward the sun. So now that we're tipped toward the sun, we're going to be having summer, and they're tipped away from the sun, and so the southern hemisphere will be having winter. So they're just always opposites. So now this one, right, these are a little hard to tell in the picture, but now everything, okay, so let's come from here, we're at winter, so I'm tipped right away from the sun. As I travel around, when I get to a spring and fall, this is the sun, it's coming towards, and it can see both of the poles equally. So the equator still gets the most, but now it can see both of the poles, right? So remember before we were in winter, we were tipped away and it travels around, and now it can see both of the poles equally. So after winter, we turn into spring, right? And then after spring, we have summer when we're tipped toward the sun, and then it travels around again, and then it's fall where it can see both of the poles equally. So then here this would be fall down here. You can see both poles equally. So away from the sun is winter. Travels, it can see both poles equally. Then it comes so that it's summer and it faces it. And then it travels again so that it sees both of those there. So here, when we are having fall, then the southern half is having springtime. And then when we are having springtime, they are having fall in the south. So these are the times when we're most going to be similar. Pointed toward it makes summer, pointed away makes winter, but it's the opposite for the other half of the earth. So if we're pointed toward the sun, then back here's pointed away, so it'd be having winter, summer, winter. Once it goes halfway around, then it does the opposite. Pointed toward the sun has summer, pointed away from the sun has winter. So that tilt really helps cause those seasons, right? And then we travel around the sun to get our summer, spring, winter, fall. So we need the tilt to give that unequal heating. Otherwise, we just always be the same. And then we need the revolution so that we're pointed to the earth gets pointed at different parts at different times. So sometimes you'll have the south pointing out. Sometimes the north will be pointed toward the sun. So go ahead and make sure you have your key filled out and what each part of it looks like. So the biggest thing, right, if it's away, it's cold. If it's toward it, it's warm. Away is warm. Sorry, toward it is, oh no, let me start over on that. So away, cold, toward, warm. Toward, warm, away, cold. What we want to remember out of that.